All right, Intuitive Black Sheep Collective. I know it has been a few days, but we are back with another intuitive message. Okay. And today's intuitive message, okay, a child is realizing that it was a group effort to turn them against you. All right. So if you are going through any type of parental alienation right now, okay, and you have a child, okay, that you feel or that you even know, okay, was turned against you, all right, or they were used against you, okay, or they were used as a pawn to hurt you, okay, by someone else, okay? All right. Or in this case, an actual group of people, okay? All right. And so our first card here, all right, is this, okay? So, okay, one of the main people, okay, in this karmic group, okay, that have teamed up together, okay, to turn your child against you, okay, use your child as a pawn to hurt you, okay, an is an ex of yours, okay, the child's other parent, okay, that could be your ex-husband, all right, or just your ex, your baby mama, your baby's daddy, okay, all right. And this past ex is literally still obsessed with you. It doesn't matter how long that you all have been separated, okay? This ex is still hyper focused on you and what you got going on in your life, okay? And all of your business, okay? This ex is still highly possessive over you. Even if they've moved on, been in other relationships, remarried, they are still hyper focused, okay, on you, worried about your business, worried about your life, worried about what you got going, and they still want to exert some type of control in your life, okay? And this child that I'm talking about here is a child anywhere from 16 to early 20s, okay? All right. They knew that the time was up where this child was getting ready to be 18. Okay, and then at that point, you really didn't have to have anything else to do with them. Okay, you didn't have to trade off during different parenting times, like you may have had to, but when the child is under 18, you would have to, take the child and meet up with the parent. Okay, to send the child off, okay, to have parenting time. And you would have to still maintain some contact, because while that child was over there with that other parent, okay, there needed to be some type of open line of communication, okay. So it got to the time where this child, okay, was getting ready to turn 18. So this other parent knew that at that point, you could really just dismiss them and not even have to have any communication with them at all anymore. Okay. So realizing that, okay, they plotted and planned, okay, all right, with this group of karmic individuals, okay, your family members and theirs, okay. They could have teamed up with some of your other past toxic exes, okay, ex friends, fake friends, okay, of yours, okay, your toxic family members, all right, and of course, the ex, okay, that I'm talking about, okay, that this obsessive one, all right, they have their family involved, as well, okay, to work to turn this child against you, okay, so that they can have the upper hand and the leverage over the child, and the child would be more on their side and more up under them, okay, and they figured that would get you in line, okay? Figuring that since they had more influence over the child at this point by, turning them against you, okay, that you would now try to reach out and go through them, okay, to have some type of connection with this child, okay? Okay, and so the next card we have here is, all right, okay, this snooping card, okay? All right. So what this toxic ex, okay? All right, the other parent of this child here that is now realizing that it was a group effort to turn them against you, okay? What they did, okay, prior to uh really just getting in your child's head and manipulating them fully against you, okay? They were snooping and digging around for dirt. Okay, so that means all throughout your social media, anything they could find, um, background checks. Okay, trying to look and see if you had anything going on with the law. Okay, and when your child would be with them, okay, they would interrogate the child about your business, getting the child to tell them things that were going on in your household, okay? And there wasn't anything over the top, outrageous or just, any type of abuse or anything going on in your household. But what the child did tell them, this parent would try to twist and turn to make it seem, okay, as if it was something bad, okay, and that you were not handling business, okay, and that you had no control over your household, and that you had an unstable environment, okay. All right. Okay. And we have this card here, okay. Your toxic ex, okay, this child's other parent, okay, their toxic ex, and y'all could have been separated for years, okay, who is still obsessed with you, okay, was just gossiping, lying, starting rumors, okay, all right, telling people different lies and rumors and saying this is what they heard from your child, and your child has told them this and this and that is going on, okay, in your house, okay? All right, they could have been lying on you saying you're out partying, okay? All right, or you're always drinking, there's no groceries in the house is unclean, okay? All right, you're not handling business, okay? You've lost your job and can't keep your job, okay? You can't keep up with your bills, okay? Any lie, okay? Any rumor, okay? To try to tarnish the way that this child sees you and that the community, okay, and other people sees you, okay? And this was a group effort with this ex, okay? This child's father that's now realizing that was a group effort to turn them against you. Okay, it was all a group effort. They worked together behind the scenes, okay, unbeknownst to you, but behind your back, okay, all to back each other up with different lies, okay, and manipulation, okay, so that all of their stories sounded the same, to this child. So the child thinks if they're all saying the same thing, okay, then, okay, maybe it is true, okay, talking about you, Black Intuitive Black Sheep Collective, maybe it is true, okay, and they were making up things, lies, okay, telling this baby lies, okay, about how you treated them or raised them in childhood, implanting false memories, saying these things that you did to them, before this child could even remember. Okay, so the child's thinking, they're saying, oh, this happened, your mom did this, or your dad did this to you when you was 2 and 3 and 6 months. Okay, this child doesn't remember that. So all of these group of people are in cahoots, okay, and got their stories lined up, and they're all telling this baby this is what you have done to them back then. Now this baby is believing that, okay, and has been turned against you, okay? All right. And now we're at the point that, this child has left your house, doesn't speak to you, okay? All right, you have no contact with this child. This child is off with that other toxic, manipulative, okay, narcissistic parent, all up under them, okay, and your toxic family members, okay, and that other parent's toxic family members, okay. All right. Okay. So that explains, this card here. It's like the child has ghosted you, okay? No contact. Okay, won't respond to your calls or text messages, okay? All right, some of you, this child, may have left your house without even telling you, or left and not come back and didn't even have a discussion with you, letting you know that they were going to stay with that other toxic parent and be up under your toxic family members and this other parent's toxic karmic family, okay? All right. And so then this card here. Okay. So, you're trying to figure out, hey, what is going on with my child? My child won't talk to me. Where is my child? Okay. Where is my child even at? Where are they staying? Okay. And they're not contacting me. They're not talking to me. Okay. I'm trying to gain some insight into what's going on with my child. Okay. Let's figure it out. Let's talk it out. Okay. So you reach out to your karmic family members, okay? You reach out to this karmic ex, the other parents of this child, okay? And you even reach out to some of this karmic ex's family members to try to get some insight as to why this child is not talking to you, what's going on, where is this child even staying at, what's going on with this child, okay? And they are all ignoring you, okay? Nobody will respond, okay, to your calls, text messages, okay? When you reach out, okay, to try to ask about this child or see what's going on, they're all silent when it comes to you, okay? Completely ignoring you, okay? Okay. And, at this time, currently watching you from fake accounts. Okay. All right. Because you have blocked all of them because you caught on and realized it was everything that was going on was a mind game and that they were all in cahoots together. Okay. To use your child as a pawn against you to hurt you. Okay. All right. And as far as social media, is involved, there are some fake accounts watching you simply because you have blocked them. Okay. And this ex-lover or ex partner, okay, parent of this child, okay, that they are using as a pawn against you is still completely obsessed and possessive over you. So you've blocked their account and your karmic family members' account and other people that you have, whether you intuitively know that they are involved or for sure that they were involved, okay, in playing keep away with your child, okay? And they are currently watching your every move, okay? Through social media, whatever you post, okay? They are seeing you speak out, okay, about what you have pieced together about this whole situation with them playing keep away with your child, turning your child against you, alienating your child from you, okay, manipulating your child, okay? All right. Through social media as well, okay? They got in your child's head so bad, against you that some of you, your child got online disrespecting you, talking bad about you, just spewing out the lies, rumors, okay, and things that these other your karmic family members, this ex's karmic family members, and this ex, okay, the other parent of this child, were putting in this child's head, okay? All right, the child may have, in some of you all's cases, got online, just spewing these false lies, slander, accusations, okay, that these other adults, okay, had planted in their head, okay, to manipulate them and turn them against you, okay, in order to hurt you and use them against you, okay? So the child got online spewing all of this stuff out, okay? It's like they put a battery in this child's back, okay? So the child got online, and then other people are watching this and things of that nature in an attempt to embarrass and humiliate you, okay, by thinking people will believe the lies and slander that these people have implanted in this child's heads, okay? Thinking that this child going online saying all these things, pushing this child up to do that, would have these other people look at you, in a bad light and turn away from you, okay? All right. But it did not work, because people that know you, okay? And your actions speak louder than their lies, okay? People see you, okay? You show up in your own authentic energy, all right? In the way that you just are authentic on social media, okay? People are following your life, okay? They see the good things that you are doing with your life, okay? And they see the way that you're carrying yourself, okay? So these lies are just not adding up, okay? Okay. And so this child is just now seeing these karmic family members on both sides, okay? Your karmic family and your ex's karmic family, okay? The child's other parent, she or he is seeing these people for who they are, okay? She's seeing now, opening her eyes, because she has caught them more than once now where their stories have switched up or changed, okay? Or they are just too obsessed with just dragging your name through the mud constantly, every single day. And this child sees you going about your life on social media as well, and sees that you are actually handling business, okay? You're living your life, okay? You're spreading positivity. If you're raising another sibling that you had that, that was younger than them, okay, that may have a different parent, they see you raising that child, okay, and just spending time with that child, and they see that you and this younger sibling of theirs appear to be thriving, okay? You all look happy, and you're taking great care of this younger sibling, okay? And so this older child, okay, is now seeing that, okay? Seeing these people for who they are, okay? Seeing the hidden agendas, okay? Seeing how sneaky they are, the deception, okay? The secretiveness, okay? Seeing that, hey, some of these holier than thou people, okay? They see that their other parent, okay, that manipulated this child away from you, they see them as a hypocrite, okay? They know that this parent, okay, is remarried, okay? But they have, come in on conversations, or, just overheard, okay, this particular parent, okay, speaking with other people, okay, stepping out on their marriage, okay? And so they're seeing that hey, this is a hypocrite, okay? You're talking about that other parent, the intuitive black sheep collective, okay, that you're keeping me away from, but look at the things that you're doing, okay? All right, so things are just not adding up, okay? People's stories are changing and shifting, all right, and they're not matching what was originally told to the child about you, okay? All right, and the child is catching on to that, okay? Okay. Until now, at this point, the child has become unfazed. This child is unfazed now by their manipulation attempts, their lies, the gaslighting, them talking down on you, trying to drag you through the mud. The child is now unfazed, and it no longer gets a reaction out of the child. It no longer gets an emotional reaction out of this child, okay? The reaction that they want, okay? Which is for the child to lash out on you and hate you, okay? The child now sees them for who they are, okay? That they are lying. The child now knows that they have been manipulated, okay? So now they are unfazed, okay? And not even giving any energy or any reaction to anything that these karmic family members, fake friends, ex-friends, okay, their other parent, okay, is saying about you, okay? Okay. And this child is now reminiscing and remembering and thinking about their childhood, okay? Because you have been the main parent and main caretaker of this baby, okay? Up until the time they got 16, 17, okay? And the other parent really started drilling into their head to manipulate them, lying to them, gaslighting them, okay? Putting lies in their head, and negative things about you in their head to turn them against you, okay? So this child is now remembering their childhood with you, okay? And, just the connection that you all had, okay? All right, the fun that you all had, okay? You took them on vacations, all right? Taking them to the park, okay? You showed up for this child, okay? And you were there for this child, okay? And this child is remembering those fond memories with you, okay? From when they were a child, okay? Or when they were younger, okay? Okay. And so now this child is at the point where they are sick of it, okay? They are tired of these, that other parent, that other toxic parent, okay? And, that toxic parent's family and also your karmic family, okay? Intuitive Black Sheep Collective. They are tired of all of them, okay? They are realizing just how negative, hateful, mean, okay, evil and low vibrational that these people are, okay? And this child is gifted as well, okay? This child is actually an empath that is going through an awakening and waking up to the fact, okay, that they are an empath, okay? And so it doesn't feel good to be in that space anymore. They are soaking in these karmic individuals, that karmic groups. They are soaking in their energy and projected negative emotions, okay? All right, so it doesn't feel good and it's weighing this child down, okay? And this child can't be in the high vibrations that they need, okay? They can't get the peace and quiet or the space that they need to recharge, okay, as an empath around these toxic, negative people, okay? Their other parent, that other parent's family, and your karmic family, okay? All right, it is draining this child and they are ready to escape, okay? They are leaving. They're trying to figure out how they can get away from these people for good. Okay, they are ready to leave these people behind. Okay, they're thinking, you know, they are thinking of reconnecting with you. Okay, this child sees it for who they are. They see that this karmic group came together. It was a whole plot. Okay, this child is feeling as if they were played. Okay, and as if they were duped. Okay, they were played and misled, okay, into going against you, publicly speaking against you and disrespecting you, okay, and hurting you, okay? And so this child is thinking about you heavily, okay, and wanting to work on the relationship with you, rebuild the relationship with you, come back towards you, okay? All right. They want to reconnect. They are thinking of how they can do this. Okay. What can they say? Okay. To you. All right. To try to reconnect. Okay. And rebuild the relationship. Okay. So move those there. Okay. And so we do have this card here. Okay. When you bond with someone in spirit, you both become a greater force for good. Okay, so this child would not speak to you. This child, left and was staying with the karmic group over there. They wouldn't answer your phone calls, your texts. They would not call you or anything. Okay. And so there was no physical communication. Okay. But because that is your child, you carried them in your womb, okay? All right? Or just because you are their father, okay? And you just have that special bond with your child. You loved them before they were even born, okay? You didn't have that physical contact or any communication, which means you then began to connect with that child on a more spiritual level, okay? And that created a stronger bond, okay, between the two of you spiritually, okay? All right. And so that when you all do reconnect, the relationship will bounce back and be even better, okay? You guys will be so close, okay? You will be inseparable. You'll be able to talk about anything, okay? When this child comes back, this bond will be unbreakable, okay? All right, even better, okay, than before, all right? Okay, and so we have, this card here, all right? So the Seven of Swords, okay? So this child is just thinking of coming clean, okay? They want to come towards you, okay, and come clean and give you some clarity about this whole situation, okay? And what all was said about you, how they were manipulated, what this karmic group said to them, okay? That they believed that got them to push away and run away from you and just go against you, okay? And hurt you, okay? They want to come clean about what all went on behind the scenes, okay, with this karmic group's effort to turn them against you, okay? And that group's whole thing with that was to publicly humiliate and embarrass you, okay? Because they are haters, okay? All right? And you are that person, okay? You are her. You are him, okay? You have such a bright light about you, okay? This karmic group wanted to take you down a peg or two. They wanted to humiliate you, okay? They wanted to bring out insecurities within you, okay? So that in their minds, your light wouldn't shine so bright, okay? They wanted to steal some of your shine, okay? All right, due to their own, insecurities, okay, and unhealed traumas. All right, okay, they were in secret competition with you, okay, and they tried to bring you down and hurt you in the worst way, okay, because they know that you love your children more than anything in the world, okay. They couldn't get to you by any other means because you had cut them off, so they came for your child and used your child to hurt you, okay. Okay. And then we got the Three of Pentacles here reversed. Okay. And so there's just a lot of arguing. Okay. Within the group. Okay. There's, there is no more teamwork. Everyone's going their separate ways. They're not responding in the group chats. Everyone is letting this plan go. Okay. All right. Though your toxic ex, the child's other parent, still wants to try to keep it growing, everyone else is washing their hands away from this. Okay. They're arguing amongst each other. You said this would work. You said this about the intuitive Black Sheep Collective, and you said this. All right. Okay. That's the only reason why I went along with this. All right. Instead of having their own mind and actually looking into things, they just went along with what this other toxic karmic parent was saying against you. Okay. And corroborated and backed up, whatever that other parent was saying. Okay. Because these other people, when they done that and jumped on the bandwagon, they have been a secret hater of yours and had animosity against you. Okay. In secret. In the first place. And now that they jumped on the bandwagon, they have all been revealed as snakes as well. Okay. All right. And there is, disappointment, okay? Because this plot against you did not work. Now this child, okay, has come to the realization that that they were played, they were duped, they were manipulated against you, okay? And now this child is on your side and is not feeding into the mess anymore. So they are disappointed that they can no longer use this child against you, okay? All right, they know this child is done with them at this point, and they're disappointed about that as well, because they know once this child comes back and reconnects with you, this child will have nothing else to do with them. Okay. All right. And they know they have to walk away from this plan because there is nothing else that they can do to try to come up against you that would work. Okay. All right. Okay. And then of course, this has caused, a tower moment in their lives. Picking up on a lot of financial issues, okay, health issues, okay, relationships and marriages breaking up, car repossessions, evictions. All right, because the negative energy, the hatred and evil that they put out against you in working to turn your own child against you, it is all backfiring on them and causing a lot, it's causing a tower moment in a lot of their lives. Okay. All right. Okay. And we have the Six of Swords here. Okay. All right. Okay. There is a transition coming, okay? A shift coming, a change coming in your life, okay? All right? Because this situation has really strengthened you, opened your eyes, gave you greater discernment, okay? And sharpened your intuition, okay? All right? It has really giving you a voice, okay, to where you are more vocal and you speak up and speak out now, okay? Right? You advocate for yourself. You speak up for yourself, okay? All right? And that's a change, okay, in the relationship with this child, okay? It's a change from you and this child not having any connection, no communication, not seeing each other. Okay, that's going to change. It's going to transition into you and this child reconnecting. Okay, and there will be no awkwardness. There will be no, oh, we got to get um, time to get to know each other and we got to ease into it. No, that child and you will reconnect like never before. You'll get right back to it, okay? But it'll be even better, okay? You'll have such an open line of communication with this child, okay? You'll be able to talk about anything. This child will now come to you about any and everything, all right? Because they are realizing, hey, Intuitive Black Sheep Collective parent really did have my best interests at heart. They warned me about how my other toxic parent could be. They warned me about how these karmic family members could be. Okay, they really did have my best interests at heart. Okay, and this child has seen how bad that this karmic group has dogged you and dragged you when you did not even deserve it. Okay, all right, that this child sees you in a completely different light. Okay, you will reconnect. Okay, that's where the change and transition comes in at. You and that baby will reconnect like never before. The bond and the relationship will be unbreakable. Okay, nothing like this will ever happen again. A wedge can never ever be brought between you and this child again. Okay, this child, reconnects with you. This is going to be your biggest, most vocal supporter. Okay, this child's not going to play about you, and they will check anybody, okay, all right, that comes to them, okay, with anything negative, okay, untrue or malicious about you, okay, all right, because of what they experienced, okay, and what they now know, that this was a group effort to turn them against you, okay, and that is another intuitive message, okay. Thank you for watching Intuitive Black Sheep Collective, okay. Until next time.